back to the Lipoedema Podcast. We are your hosts, Shell and Tiana, and today we have a special warrior online with us. Is Nicola Gazzard. Nicola, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure, and we want to get straight into it because we always love to have our warrior stories. How did you come to learn of lipedema, and when was that?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed in last year, October 2020. It was the first time that I actually really came to know about lipedema. And prior to that, I had been searching. So I had a few symptoms. I was worried about my legs, and I'd been putting my symptoms into Google, and then lipedema came up. And then I started looking at the Google images, and I was like, these don't look like my body. So I kind of was like, oh, maybe it's not that. So I kind of dismissed it. Then I went to my GP, and do you want to know the first thing he said to me when I told him about my legs? He said, can you jump on the scales for me?
Oh, good.
So,
No, thanks.
and then
Wow.
I was like, okay. So I jumped on the scales, and he looked at me, and then he looked at my notes, and he said, do you know you've put on 10 kilos in the past 18 months? And I was like, okay, all right. Like, I knew I'd put a little bit of weight on, but I didn't think, it was that bad. So I looked at him and I was like, oh, okay. So do you think that maybe I've just put on too much weight? And he kind of looked at me like, read between the lines.
Okay.
When I left the GP, I was like, okay, I've just put quite a bit of weight on. So I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to start eating really healthily. I'm going to just do everything to try and lose some weight. So I joined F45 and then started working out. And then I did the calorie deficit. So started really watching like what I was eating, and then cut out alcohol. And I do like wine. So that was really hard for me. And then I was doing that for about 12 months. And then I started losing weight in like my waist and my face. And then I started to drop the weight there, but my legs were actually getting worse. And I actually spoke to the instructor at F45. I was like, can you see my legs are actually really swollen? And she was like, yeah. I think you need to go and speak to the GP about it. So went back to the GP and I said, look, I'm still worried about my legs. I've lost weight everywhere else, but not on my legs. So he was like, okay, why don't we do a scan of your legs just to make sure they're okay? But I just didn't feel like that was what I needed. I didn't feel like a scan was what I needed. I just felt like, I don't know. And then I also thought like my legs are starting to look a bit like my mum's legs. So, and she was really, really slim. And I thought my mum is really, really slim and her legs are bigger. So, and she's not carrying a lot of weight. So why are her, it's not a weight thing. So he said, can you just go back, carry on doing with your exercise and your diet, come back. And if you haven't lost any more on your legs, we'll look at weight loss medication. Right. So I was like, okay, a lot of people seem to be taking that. What's the weight loss medication?
There's a few different ones. The GLP-1 agonist is the umbrella that it's under, I think. Yeah. So Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic.
Yeah, the Ozempic. Yeah. So I went away, carried on, started to obsess a little bit. And I was like, you know what, I'll just go on the Ozempic or whatever. So went back called the doctors and they said, your GP is not here at the moment. So do you want to see another GP? I said, yeah, okay. She'll have all my notes, won't she? And they were like, yeah. Anyway, I spoke to her and instantly she said, oh, it sounds like you might have something called lipedema. And she was like, yeah. She's like, have you ever heard of that? I was like, I've kind of done a few. Yeah, I kind of have, but no one's ever said it. So yeah, and it was from there, honestly, it was really straightforward. She said, look, I don't even need to give you a referral. There is an amazing lady called Jackie Eaton. She is a specialist. She has, it's like a physio. It's called Physio for You. Just go and see her. And then I didn't need a referral. And then she diagnosed me on the spot.
Wow.
And they're in the same doctor's clinic.
Yeah.
He was dismissing it.
Yeah. And he's a male doctor, so I don't know like if there's, but yeah, and he's a really nice doctor. He was actually my daughter's GP, but yeah, this GP didn't even need to look at my legs. She just heard my symptoms, and she just said, yeah, I think it's that. So, but also a lot of GPs don't even know about it. So
That's
it,
exactly right.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
And they can't know about every condition, but
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. But I do feel like sometimes they should refer you on to someone maybe who
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great point. And I suppose he was trying to get you to eliminate the lifestyle issues. And I think, in some respects, his heart was in the right place because a lot of our conservative management starts with improving our diet and exercise.
Yeah.
But you still needed that close, like that assurance that there was something going on, that your efforts aren't really going to equal the outcomes that you want. And just having
yeah.
that diagnosis would really have helped at that point because you can do the lifestyle and you can do the diet and the exercise, and maybe you would have still done that and then just understood that maybe your legs weren't gonna be different.
But then I
Yeah.
guess also it's a different, you'd probably look at different types of diet and different types of exercise if you'd known that you had lipedema. So I'm just curious, you said you went to that first doctor
Mm.
with a list of symptoms. What were those symptoms you went to him with?
It was just there wasn't actually that many symptoms. It was that my legs just weren't in proportion with the rest of my body.
Yeah.
And so with I'm stage 1, type 3 and 4. So I have it from my ankles all the way up to my hips. And I noticed a massive difference around the ankle area because I had that little cuff, the cuff that they talk about. And I was like, it wasn't normal to me because I'd never had that. Now, I did have it during pregnancy and I thought it was just a pregnancy thing. And after pregnancy, it would go away, and it never did. So that was pretty much the main symptom for me. And there was swelling there as well. And I guess it is difficult because I'm on my feet all day. So I run a beauty salon. So I'm on my feet all day. And as soon as you get home, you're cooking. I'm not sitting down and putting my feet up. So I was aware of that. And I used to be a flight attendant, so I used to do long haul flights and I used to get swelling. So it was hard to kind of work it out. But when I woke up in the morning, my legs were still that same size. So they weren't as swollen, but they were still bigger than what I thought was normal. And I would just get told, oh, your ankles look fine. They look normal. Like, it's fine. But I just knew that they weren't normal, I guess. Well, they're normal, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess when you are on your feet all day and you are flying so much, like there's so many other
Excusable. Yeah.
it's just that or it's just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So many
yeah.
other rationalizations for how, yeah. Can I ask about, like, especially with F45, because that's quite intense
Yeah.
exercise. Did you find yourself swelling up after you would exercise? Or what
Yeah.
was your experience like doing something so high intensity?
Yeah. So that's when my legs actually began to get worse because I was doing F45. I'd do the challenges, which I'd be there 5 days a week. And I was seeing my waist and my face, and they were all starting to kind of slim down a little bit. My legs were so swollen. They were aching. It was almost like they were pulsing at the end of the session.
Yeah.
All that fluid in there.
It was, and then for the rest of the day, it would just get worse. And I loved F45. I met like a really good group of people. It was really motivating, but it just wasn't for me. It was too intense. And that was also when I realized that the pain in my legs wasn't normal. So when I did my Google searches and it said, you get pain in your legs, I was like, I don't have pain in my legs. But I just thought that was how our legs were supposed to feel, like sensitive. I just thought it was so when my husband would leave the dishwasher door down and I'd bang my leg, I would be like, why do you do that? Like, it's such a sensitive area of our legs to bang. Why would you do that? No, it's not. So I thought it was normal.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which it's
Yeah,
not.
look, just so many things come together when you get that diagnosis.
I know. It all makes sense.
Remember that. So now that you're diagnosed, if you look back at your life, and you did touch on pregnancy, how you notice swelling, but were there other instances within your life that you thought perhaps your body wasn't responding the way that you thought other bodies were responding, or did you feel different in any way, or did it really just show up recently?
Looking back, I just thought I was curvy. So when I didn't start getting kind of concerning symptoms until pregnancy. Prior to that, I definitely had it, but I had it in my thighs, and I was young, I had a really slim waist, I had big boobs. Like, I just thought I was really curvy with a big bum, and I actually didn't mind it. I just
Right.
thought I was this curvy girl and I would get attention from males. And I would wear the tight dresses. So yeah, it didn't bother me back then. But I didn't have it at the bottom of my legs. I didn't have those little
Yeah.
cuffs that you get. But yeah, honestly, it didn't bother me back then. So I think I'm pretty lucky actually, because I'm 37 now and it's only started to, become a bit of an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
very good. But and
Yeah,
I'm glad you got answers relatively quickly as
I
well.
did.
And
I
I do
did.
identify with that, being curvier, although I didn't get the top half. I definitely had the bottom half. And when I was, I suppose, stage one and in
Yeah.
my, teens to early 20s, because I was quite fit, I felt fine,
Good.
because I had those nice curves and it was a desirable look, except when I was trying to dance with stick insects next to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was quite nice in everyday life, in pedestrian life. And then it just exacerbated, just like yours did. It exacerbated. I was like,
exactly.
"Oh, this
Yeah.
isn't right."
Yeah.
So you think it
Yeah.
it started recently for you? Like, you saw a bit of the cuffing during pregnancy, and then you put on some, lifestyle weight, and that's when you found that it started to develop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think when I looked online and people, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and a lot of the women are stage 2, stage 3. And sometimes I feel a little bit out of place, even just today telling my story because I am stage 1. So I feel like it's not that bad. And, a lot of people say, oh, I'd love to look like you. But I guess it's, if I didn't push this, then I wouldn't have a diagnosis. And it could be that it gets to stage 2, stage 3, where
Yeah.
then I kind of would be looking for answers. So I feel like, yeah, if I didn't push it, I've been given a good opportunity to try and stop it from progressing, stay at stage 1. So, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of girls out there like me who are stage 1 looking for answers, and they're being dismissed from GPs and
Yes.
saying, they're fine, or other people saying, oh, I'd love legs like yours. Everyone's journey's different. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And we
Absolutely,
shouldn't
Nicola.
diminish someone else's story or someone else's
exactly.
journey just because they don't look the same as us, because we are all so different. Like, I'm later stage, but I don't get swelling, and I
Yeah,
don't get a lot of pain. I do in my hips, but not in my legs, maybe some touch pain. So, like, even me, I'm different. Whereas we've spoken to other stage ones and they have debilitating pain and swelling. And it's
but
just, yeah, you can't judge someone else's suffering and you can't diminish it either, which
no,
is a
no.
really hard thing, I think, within the community.
It is
Yeah,
harder. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
The Facebook groups are great, but then also it can be, yeah, a bit disheartening afterwards. So I read a little bit, but I try not to get too sucked into it.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
protect yourself too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
got to protect your mental health. And yeah, if it's not serving you, turn away.
exactly. Yeah.
Agreed. So you had your diagnosis later last year. How are you managing your lipedema?
So the best thing for me was my compression, the medical
Yeah.
grade compression socks. When Jackie diagnosed me, she pulled out these compression socks and was like, I'm gonna fit you with some of these. And I burst out crying. I was like, I don't want to wear them.
Yeah.
So she was like, I understand, but it will help. I put them on. She measured me up. I put them on, and it was a really hot day. And I remember thinking, I can't wear these. It's hot. I live in Australia. And she said, that's fine. You can take them off. And I started to take them off. And I was like, actually, they were really comfortable. Nice. They feel really nice. So I walked out with my Crocs on and my like a sundress and then my compression garments. They've been the best thing for me. I wear them every day.
Nice.
And when I don't wear them, I notice a massive difference. So that's probably the number one thing. And I went to see a naturopath. So there's a lady, so I'm from the Central Coast. Her business is called The Local Nut, and her name's Stephanie, and she knew about lipedema. So she went through everything, like all the foods that I need to avoid, just, what I need to be eating, what I need to cut out. And she just really understood it. And it's crazy to me because when I was doing my F45 and I was trying to lose weight, a lot of the stuff that I was doing didn't match what the naturopath was telling me to do. So the diet was just completely wrong. So since doing what she's told me to do, the inflammation is nowhere near as bad. I'm starting to lose a little bit of weight in the other areas that I did need to shift. So I've cut out alcohol, eating lots of protein. I'm not eating bread, pasta, rice, that sort of thing. And I'm actually eating more than what I was when I was trying to lose weight myself.
Yeah, that's fascinating, isn't it? When you feel like you're eating so much more and then you start losing weight, you're like, those calories in, calories out. People don't know what they're talking about.
They
but-
know nothing.
No, it's just switching out the wrong foods and eating the right foods.
Yeah.
I've had a few massages. What are they called?
Annual lymphatic drainage.
Yeah, and they were great. I just don't have enough time. So
Yeah.
that's something that I would love to be able to do more of, but right now, I don't have time. And I know I could be doing a lot more, but I'm coming up to 1 year. So instead of doing all these big changes, I've just done small changes and manageable changes. And I can only do it as much as I can.
Absolutely. And you
That's
have a
pretty much-
young daughter, don't you? How old is she?
Yeah, she's 5.
That's such a cute age.
I know. Well, and she knows about lipedema. I've told her about it as well, because obviously if she's jumping on me, I say, "Oh, just watch my legs, darling, or watch my arms." And I was putting on my compression socks, and she's like, "I feel sad. I feel sad for you, Mum." I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Oh, because you've got lipedema." I was like, "It's okay. It's okay." So
Yeah.
she understands.
It's so good that because we've all got daughters that we're able to educate them on this stuff.
Exactly. And that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and she knows that it's not something that's wrong, it's just different.
It's
And
just
it takes
different. Yeah.
different ways we have to look after ourselves. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not good or bad, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, just trying to manage it. And I think it's been a bit of a blessing because being diagnosed, I've now changed my diet and I have just taken up figure skating as well, because that is quite good for your legs. It's wild because you wouldn't think so, but it really strengthens them. So yeah, so I've taken up that with my daughter. So me and my 5-year-old have started skating together. So we do that twice a week. So that's been really nice because that's something that I probably wouldn't have done. Yeah.
So is that roller skating or ice skating?
No, ice skating.
Ice skating.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a rink near our house. So yeah, we've been doing that. And that's been great for my legs. Yeah.
And it is just a different way of looking at your legs. Like they need this support. What can I do to support them?
Exactly.
And if you find something that you love doing as well, because that can be overwhelming when we're told, some people when they're told you have to do water exercise, they're like, oh my goodness, that sounds like the worst thing in the world. But we don't all have to do water exercise. What we need to do is find something we like doing and something that we can do consistently, because we still need to find joy. It can't be, oh, great, I've got to go to the pool again today.
100%. Totally. And when my naturopath said that, she said you should start swimming. I don't want to be in chlorine every day. I was like, I like to have a nice blow dry. I don't want to be washing my hair every day and priority.
That's it, the chlorine. That's a big thing too.
I know. Yeah, you smell of chlorine all day. So no, it's been nice to have found something that is good for me and something that I really enjoy as well.
That is awesome. So I was going to ask, what's been the best thing that you found in relieving your symptoms? I know you did touch on compression. Is that the number one?
Yeah, compression is the number one. It's something that I can do daily and it's really quite easy. And I've got no excuses to not be able to do that. So compression is the number one thing, and my diet.
Yeah.
So they're the 2 things that I have done. And then also just learning to accept that it's not me and it's just the way my body is, and trying to fall in love with my body again. Because I feel like I've been a bit hard on myself the past couple of years, but yeah, just we can't help it. It's just the way we are.
Absolutely. And we don't know, when we don't know what's happening in our body, we don't know how to care for it. So sometimes it can be
Yeah.
easier to punish instead of nurture.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was diagnosed, I started crying and I was like relieved because I just knew there was something and I wasn't making it up. So I was like, okay, great. Now we know what it is. How do we manage it? Because it's frustrating when you don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Feel like you're going crazy. You're like, but this isn't normal. But is
Yeah,
it normal? Well, that's the only experience I've had. So how do you know that that's normal? It's like, well, you look at other people and you're like, well, my perception of them is that when they do something about their size, that, works. And so maybe I'm not doing the right thing. And it's so
It's
confusing.
confusing.
yeah. You
And
get
like you
so
said before,
frustrated.
like you didn't know other people were sensitive when their legs got hit. Like, how are we to know if we don't talk about it?
I
Yeah.
If we're not
know.
having conversations, how would we even know what normal is, or even the scope of normal? Because there's
I
so
know.
many different things people think are normal.
Yeah, especially when it comes to pain. So I have like aching pain, when I was younger, I would equate it to growing pains. I would call it growing pains, and they just
Yeah.
never went away as I got older. And
Mhm.
that didn't make any sense because when I was younger, I was like, well, that's growing pains because my body's growing. And
Yep.
then I'm not growing anymore. Why do I still have growing pains? It doesn't make any sense. It's sensitive to touch. That's the other kind of pain. But there's so many other, like sharp pain or lightning pain. And if
Yep.
we don't talk about what it feels like for us, then, as you said, that spectrum of normal is very different.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
because my pain is more of a weakness. I get a weakness across my hips and in my
Yeah.
knees where I feel like I'm going to collapse. So
Interesting. Yeah. Well, what's funny is my mum, so she lives in the UK, so I only see her for 3 months out of the year. But when I got my diagnosis, I said to her that I think you've got it too, mum, because my legs look like yours. She was like, no, I don't. And I pressed onto her ankle and then did the same on her arm. And I said, did that feel the same? And she was like, well, no, on the ankle it hurt, but when you did it on my arm, it didn't. I said, that's not normal. Like that was the same pressure. And she was like,
Wow.
oh, okay, maybe I do. But when I spoke to Jackie, who diagnosed me, I showed her a photo of my mum and she said, yeah, I can tell that she has it. But
Wow.
my mum has been able to keep it at stage 1 her whole life because she just does all the things that you're supposed to do. So at the end of the day, she worked at the hospital, she was a nurse, she would put her feet up and she'd always have her elevate her feet at the end of the day. She ate really healthily. So she was managing it without even knowing that
how good.
And it's also
yeah,
a great point that progression is not inevitable. And sometimes it happens despite us making every effort. And
yeah,
sometimes it doesn't happen even if we
yeah,
don't make every effort. Like
yeah,
everybody's journey with lipedema is different. It's a progressive condition, but it's not inevitable that the
yeah,
progression will happen.
yeah,
Like your mum, she managed to avoid that. And your perception of that is because she did all the right things. But in fact, you also have lipedema and you weren't doing, throughout my life, I wasn't doing all the right things throughout my life. But my progression only really started when I started having babies
Yeah.
yeah,
and associated with weight gain, I suppose.
yeah,
But some people's progression happens outside of the lifestyle weight gain, something different altogether. It's
yeah,
just so individual, but it's not inevitable. And when we first get diagnosed, that's a real fear that we look at the stage 3 ladies and we think, oh my gosh,
That's where I'm
that's
heading.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
your
Okay.
compression socks. Can I ask what brand you use for your compression?
So when I was diagnosed, actually, Physio for You, she gave me a folder full of information. So the
Oh,
way,
amazing.
yeah, she's so amazing. So sometimes they say, okay, you've got this. Now go home and do your research. I didn't need to. All of it was in here. So this has been great for me. Also all my invoices are in here too. Jo- J-
Jobs. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Um, and they're very expensive.
Yeah.
Compression
but
is expensive. Yeah.
it's expensive, isn't it? Which is wild to me.
Mhm.
But luckily, I have health insurance, so I get it on my health insurance. And I did ask Jackie, what do you do if you don't have health insurance? And in New South Wales, there's a scheme that you can sign up to. So for ladies who need the help. But yeah, it's really expensive. I couldn't believe it. It was $140 for one pair of compression, and you have to replace them every 6 months. So
Yes. And are yours just to the knee?
they are to the knee. I tried the ones that went right up to the top, like of my thigh, but I just find them uncomfortable and they roll.
Yeah.
Have you
I
tried
certainly
the
can't
full?
wear thigh highs.
Have
I
you tried
cannot
the
wear.
actual leggings?
Yeah,
Like
Shelley
that's
and
what
I, when we do wear compression, Shelley and I wear full pants.
I
and
love how she says when we do.
Well, I'm not wearing it today.
I'm not.
Yeah. So that's what I mean.
I'm
We have to
wearing
be
mine.
realistic. Yeah, I've been wearing them all week, and yesterday and today I couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm compression free for the past 2 days. And Shelley has had moments in her time where she's worn them consistently, and
Yeah.
then currently not so much.
No.
So yeah, but we do, like, I have some socks and Shelley has some socks as
Yeah.
well. And I have put them on in lieu of wearing full pantyhose sometimes. Like when I was pregnant and I couldn't fit into my pantyhose, I would wear the socks.
That's a
And when
good
we
idea.
traveled, I would wear the socks. But today there is nothing. Today it's bare legs, and I will probably complain about
And
the pain and torture later on this evening. But anyway.
yeah.
We'll get
Oh well.
You're right.
Yeah.
You live and learn.
Compression wear looks different for everybody, and I love the fact that the socks
Yeah.
work for you.
Yeah.
And they can, like, lots of companies provide compression socks, and they can look quite funky too if you want to wear some pretty colourful socks.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about summertime. I don't know what I'm going to do. What does everyone do in the summertime? I saw some that where they don't go around your whole foot, so your toes are out. So maybe you can still wear sandals. Yeah, but I didn't really wear compression last year, so this is my first proper summer wearing them.
True. Look, so I suppose because you work, and we were working in an office or wherever you work. Like, I would wear long pants anyway to work, so it didn't matter that I was wearing compression. Like, yeah, I'd be a bit sweaty getting to work, but then I was working in full air conditioning all day, so it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And so I would just wear my compression. But on the weekends, then it's really hard. So you just weigh up whether, like, I used to wear compression under my leggings, and yep, it would be hot, but I wouldn't be out a lot of the day. Like, I don't really go out a lot. So we've got air conditioning in our house. In fact, when I got diagnosed and I had to wear compression, I was like, to my husband, I said, we've got to get air conditioning in the house, and we got air conditioning in the house. So
Good. Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. 'Cause it gets hot up here.
it gets hot.
Yeah. Well, I'm English and I'm living in Australia, so I get hot really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get cold really easily. I've been complaining about the
Same.
cold weather. Yeah, this is lovely.
This
This
is
is
today.
today's the kind of weather that I like, because it's a bit cool in the morning and then it's nice during the day. And yeah,
I'd like a consistent 25 degrees all year round.
thank you. That'd be
Yep.
nice.
And maybe 15 in the mornings.
Oh,
Yeah.
25.
Clean my order, Mother Nature.
Yes, please.
That's what we want. We are up to our last question, Nicola. If you could go back and give your younger self a pep talk, what would you tell her?
So I feel like I've been really, really lucky with my diagnosis and I've had a really good run. So I wouldn't tell myself anything different or my younger self. But I was going to just speak to the ladies out there who might be listening to this who don't know if they have it or they're searching for answers. So instead, I just wanted to kind of speak to those ladies and to say, trust your instincts. So if you feel like something isn't right and you're searching for answers, just trust your instincts and just keep pushing, even when they make you jump on the scales at weight shame. And don't let anyone dismiss your concerns or make you feel like you're imagining it. Because I got told, your legs are fine, they look fine. And I knew that there was something not right. Our body gives us signs for that reason. So you deserve answers, you deserve support, and you deserve compassion. So don't ever give up, because I hear a lot of ladies out there trying to get answers and they're being dismissed, and they're jumping online and they're so desperate. They're like, where do I get diagnosed? Who can I speak to? I just happened to get really lucky that one GP knew someone who was really local to me, and I've had a really smooth ride since. Don't wait for it to get worse. Just
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And honestly, I feel pretty lucky too, although I've spent most of my life wondering about my weight, but I do, in the scheme of things, feel really lucky. And I like that you speak to those people that don't quite know or haven't yet been diagnosed.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice. Yeah.
You know what's
Beautiful.
Can I quickly jump? So when I was looking at my diagnosis, found on Instagram, I did an Instagram story, and it said, let me tell you what it said. Oh, it's so funny. Where is it? Basically it said, when you go to the doctor, because your ankles and legs are super swollen and you expect him to say you have some sort of medical condition, but he actually tells you you've put on 10 kilos since June 2021. Cost me $75 to basically be told that I just got fat. That's how I felt. He was basically just weight shaming me. But I found that on my Instagram, which I thought was funny because
Wow.
I did know that there was something not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that. I think there's a lot of people with lipedema that have been to the doctors with issues about their weight that it's just things are happening that shouldn't be happening based on their lifestyle. And then they're like, well, you're a woman and
Yeah.
you put on some weight because you're a woman. You're like, thanks, doc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I now have a female GP. I've switched.
Yay. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Not to say that our male doctors aren't.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I feel like women have a certain understanding of
Yeah.
women.
Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome. Oh, Nicola, it's been such a pleasure having you on. You are right. Every story with lipedema is valid, including our stage 1 ladies. And I'm so grateful that you had a short period where you got diagnosed, because I would like to think that from now on, that's what people with lipedema will experience, that they will be quickly diagnosed and they won't have to deal with those years of medical gaslighting or weight stigma or any of that.
Yeah. So it only takes one person.
Yeah.
One person to listen to us and know what it is,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
your whole trajectory. Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
The Lipoedema Podcast 2025 is powered by Elegance Lymphatic Care. Lipedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shell and Tiana from the Lipoedema Podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.